Welcome back to Knoxville Youth Athletics. We're doing a cross-country update 1 week out from the start of our summer cross-country program, starting on June 8th for our middle school and high school. And we want to meet with Program Director Bobby Holcomb and get some updates on where things currently sit. Bobby, thank you for joining me. One of the things I wanted to ask you about is talk to us about this new classroom setting you've been working on.
So I'm basically almost kind of like treating it like a teacher. Like I'm going to send up lesson plans throughout the entire summer. I'm really excited about this because this is something we have done in the past at practice. We have talked about a lesson of the day at certain sites and stuff. But now we're going to actually we're going to send an invite out to you at around 10-15 minutes before the meeting at around 11:30 on Mondays and Wednesdays, where everybody can join in. Parents, kids, your friends, you can bring anybody in on these meetings. And each week we're going to have on Monday is going to be the lesson of the day. We have a lot of things to go over that's going to help give us really basic knowledge of running and help lead into our cross country season. You're going to be well prepared. We're going to have topics like, proper running shoes and apparel, and then proper pre-race active stretching, and then post-race static stretching, foam rolling and stuff like that. Nutrition, hydration, we're going to go over that throughout the entire summer. Great places to run. I mean, there are so many wonderful places in the Knoxville area and that you can run. Now, if you're taking part in this and you're outside of the Knoxville region, and maybe you'll come into town sometime and you'll come and check out our trail system, but I'm going to have a whole entire day where we're going to talk about our greenways, our trail system, places to run, and then we're going to talk about, training philosophy. What are we doing? Why are we doing it? What is the purpose of base, endurance, foundation, speed, phase? We're going to have an entire day where we can talk about different training philosophies out there. There are 100 training philosophies out there, and and trying to break down what we're trying to accomplish with you throughout the summer into the fall is very, very critical. Strength training. I know we get a lot of questions about strength training throughout the entire year, and then especially during the summer. It's a great time to start it. One big thing, mental prep. How to prep for races, how to prep to do workouts, how to prep mentally, to try to stay motivated when you're, down and it's hot, how to stay, how to lift ourselves up during races. We're going to have speakers come in for that and talk about how they prepped. Different running clubs, websites. We're going to talk about different websites you could go to gain a lot of knowledge, especially on the current, when a basketball game is going on right now and you want to know your scores and highlights, you go to ESPN. Well, running has the same thing. We have MileSplit. You can go to MileSplit and go check results. And we're going to show all the kids the different websites you can go through. And then just great running apps. Today's technology, you've got to utilize, the wonderfulness of the iPhones and the Androids and all that, and get all that, the great running apps that you can upload out there. So there's a lot of classes where we're going to kind of go over throughout the entire summer, and I'm excited about, and we're going to kind of try to pass on that knowledge to everybody.
Yeah, and it's a lot different than it used to be, with paper and pen and running logs and stuff like that. Real quick, do you want to speak just real quick on how those running logs will work this summer?
So, Chris, yes. So this year, every coach is going to be able to track every single athlete day to day. It's really critical on how their training zones, their mileage, when they're building up. We want to keep them injury-free. We want to make sure they're progressing. We want to make sure they have feedback from the coaches throughout the entire summer. So we're going to be having a running log that we're going to be utilizing a certain software that we're going to write our programs through. So when you actually wake up in the morning and you're going to be able to know in a text message what your workout is. It's going to have notes in it. You're going to be able to go out and run, come back, upload your workout of the day, and then your coach is going to be able to actually see it and give you some feedback, how the workout went, or if you have questions, you can write it in your comments. This is wonderful. This is going to be a great tool to have throughout the summer. It's going to help us make adjustments. One of the big things that we have problems with is that kids will end up going to summer camps, church camps, just basic vacations, and life happens, and your training veers off a little bit. Well, we want to be able to bring you back in without and make the adjustments to your schedule without trying to play catch up with you. We don't want to risk an injury or anything like that. So we're going to be able to kind of live track you as you go throughout the entire summer. So that way we can make the adjustments properly as we go. And so we're excited about that this year. And we're going to go over that when you join. We're going to walk through those steps on how to get involved with that software and into your phones.
Talk about some of the coaches you have on board. We highlighted those a week ago, and looks like you got some good ones.
Yes, we're very excited. We have one of the guys that we got returning here or coming here for the first time is Josh Maurer. He coached in 2 different colleges throughout. We're excited to have him on board. And one of the great things that for 8 weeks at least, we're going to be meeting in person in 10 or 11 week program. One of the things we're excited about, you get to train with actual collegiate athletes. I think I counted 6 D1 collegiate athletes that you're going to be able to show up to practice. You're going to be able to run with. You're going to be able to pick their brains on on a daily basis on how they got there, or you're just going to be able to run with some of these athletes. And I mean, just imagine a basketball, football, baseball camp that you get to show up and you get to go and hang out with some of the best in the country in the college ranks. Well, you're going to be able to get to do that with our program. We're going to have several college runners this coming summer that you're going to be able to run with, given if we have the appropriate sites to be able to train at. And we're going to go over that here shortly, but it's wonderful. We got majority of them are in D1 level. And then we have couple experienced road racers here in town that are top-notch road racers that, do pretty well both in the triathlon and running world, believe it or not. And so upper masters runners. So you're going to be able to run with some really, really good athletes throughout the entire summer.
And pivoting to that, talk about some of the speakers you have lined up.
Now, every single week, again, we're going to go back to that Monday, Wednesday, 11:30 format. Everybody's going to log in. We're going to have one day it's going to be the class of the day. And the next one I'm really excited about. We've lined up. We're going to have a speaker of the day. And we have got, enormous amount of great speakers. We're going to have Kevin Pack from Runner's Market. He's owned Runner's Market since 1995, talking about shoes and spikes and stuff. And we're going to have Mary Beth Cates, who's going to be talking about strength training. She's a very, very great trail runner, and she's really heavily involved and she's run cross country at college and in high school, and she's a great strength trainer. And then we're going to have Eddie with Health Shop, Eddie Raymond, Eddie's Health Shop. He's going to be talking about nutrition. But then we're going to go right into a lot of experienced athletes like Todd Williams, 2-time Olympian, local superstar here. He was pretty much the main man at one point around the country. He was number 1 runner. Him and Bob Kennedy at one point. Zach Long, who broke the 5K University of Tennessee's school record, 13:39. But then we're going to talk about, and then we're going to bring in a coach, Alan Etheridge, East Tennessee's only team that ever had, a Nike Cross Nationals team. And so that was he's going to talk about, a little bit of that, and then talk about the numerous, state championships and the value, he brought back to the sport when he was coaching at Oak Ridge. And then Gina Rouse, she's been our local superstar. She's been amazing. She ran at Farragut back in, I'm going to say,
don't date her.
99, 98, or something like that. But she was one of a very, very, awesome superstar. But then she fast forward and became a pro runner. She went to the Olympic trials in the marathon. It was a fantastic, got top 30 in the country at the Olympic trials this past. 3 kids, family, awesome. And then one of the two of these toughest racers I've ever had, ever worked with or been around or trained with, Kathy Wolski and Alan Horton. They're going to talking about mental prep, on how do you mentally prep yourself to get up for a race, to get up to do workouts and stuff. And those are some really great, they both went to the Olympic trials and they were great high school runners. Kathy was part of Farragut's 84 team, which was probably still one of the best women's cross country team ever. ever across the board. I think they had something like, out of all 7 of their top runners, when all classifications were together, they ended up having like 7 in the top 11. So she was part of that team when they won state. So it's kind of an amazing. And then you never can forget, we got a great local star Olympian, Tony Cozy, who was in the 2000 steeplechase. Brings great value. He went to Central, Foot Locker finalist. And a lot of these athletes are Foot Locker finalists a couple of these athletes, 3 of them, I think, I'm looking at my list here, 3 or 4 of them were actually Foot Locker finalists along with Tony. And so, Tony's brought a great value to this entire community in between, his running, his time at UT, going to the Olympics, and then he's brought back, even in coaching, he's coached several great athletes in the area. So I'm excited. This is going to be a really good time to take part in this program and gain a lot of knowledge and a lot of value, throughout. I mean, even if you were on your own for a while and you just want to join something and just be a part of something just for about, 8 to 10 weeks, and take hold of all this knowledge that we're going to be giving out throughout the summer. And, we're going to look for feedback from you all too. So.
And talk about some of the sites we're going to be using this summer, and when you plan on starting.
Well, we plan on the first week, we're going to be doing virtual training, period. We're just going to make sure we got everything all lined up and make sure everything is up and running, both the technology and have all of our, safety protocols and all that, because it's going to take about a week to kind of make sure that we follow the CDC guidelines and our local government guidelines, for practices. And then the second week, we will actually have practices at all of our locations that are on schedule: Springbrook, Farragut, and Victor Ashe Park. Now we're going to be meeting on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7:30 to 9, and then Mondays and Wednesdays that afternoon at like that mid-morning at 11:30, we're going to have our class of the day, and we're going to go over, pretty much all of our stuff that we planned on to do throughout the entire year. So like I said, the value is going to be wonderful this summer, because not only are you going to be coming to practice, you're going to have a lot of open dialogue back and forth with your coaches privately through Zoom. I don't think I mentioned that earlier, but we're going to be doing the classes through a Zoom meeting, so that way you can have feedback and have questions for the coaches and stuff. This will not be a open social media classroom setting, or speaker of the days will not be that. You have to be a part of the program to make sure to get that.
And that's the thing, like after the meetings are over, they'll be posted privately on YouTube, and everybody will get sent the email link so they can go back and rewatch it, or if they weren't able to attend, they can watch it as well. And I like the option, like doing a lot of virtual stuff, because I think, that way it allows people on their own time to start coming back to practices. If people want to start first day, you can, and if you want to wait a couple more weeks, you can do that too. And you're going to still get a lot of value with a lot of the coaches' meetings and the speakers and all those good things. They can go out and run on their own if they so choose.
Yeah.
A little bit for everybody. Okay. I appreciate your update. You still got about a week before the start of the program. It'll start a week from today, which is June 1st. So it'll start June 8th. And the first practices in person will be the following week. And look forward to everything you've been putting together, and plan on joining a little bit of it myself. So, so email myself or Bobby if you have any further questions regarding registration or the program itself. And look forward to a bunch of people joining us here in about a week.
Thank you, Chris, for having me on.
All right, thanks.